3 months ago, I made the, at the time, questionable decision to purchase HIMI Gouache's 36 color jelly cup set. I'll put a link down below and in the comments if you're interested in getting one of these yourself for around $23 US, which I knew was incredible value considering that this little tube of Winsor & Newton designer gouache in titanium white was, I think, around $11. But also knowing that this product does not have a great reputation. So 3 months later, does it smell? Did it mold? I haven't even opened it up in a month, so we're gonna crack it open and find out what happened. So I purchased it with the intent of having kind of a summer of gouache, and I have been really effective in doing that, using it nearly daily for the longest time. For the first 2 months, it was something that I was pulling out and dipping into every single day. And then, I'm not gonna lie, life got a little bit busy. I put the lid on it and I tucked it away, and I had some other products to try, including some Paul Rubens paints, and I kind of forgot about it a little bit. And so it has been hiding in my studio shelf here, unloved at the bottom. I want to get back into it though, but I haven't cracked it open in a number of weeks. So I thought maybe we could do that together and see if it smells, see what happens. I will say though, just with the paints themselves, I have been very happy with the quality. I have this expensive gouache. I haven't used gouache very extensively in my work, but I thought that this could be a good introduction to that medium because I'm primarily into watercolor. But you know, the colors of the HIMI Gouache, they just, they really spoke to me. I want to also talk to you about the accessories that came with it. I thought I was quite generous of them to include these 3 brushes and this palette. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's see if anything went moldy, if anything smells bad. For context, it's summer. I live in Toronto, Canada, and it's very humid here. Not too humid in my house because I have air conditioning, but definitely the perfect condition for molds to grow. Here we are. And here is the set. Okay. It's not very scented at all. It definitely doesn't smell bad or off. And then I'm looking at it for any visible signs of molds, and I am not seeing anything. Now, I did spend a lot of time really upkeeping this well the first 2 months that I had it, but I obviously haven't cracked it open in the last month. I can see that it's drying and a little bit on the edges. And what I've been using is a little bit of distilled water in a spray bottle. And then you could also use a little dropper as well if you want to drop water in. And you can, let me change modes here. This is just like a little medicine type dropper you can get from the pharmacy near you or off Amazon. And yeah, I'll give you a nice good close-up look at all these colors. I contaminated them a little bit. I was trying to be fairly careful though in not doing that too much. Overall, I'm very pleased, but you can see that it is drying up and kind of almost getting crackly on some of the sides, and I'm okay with that. When they were first very wet, they were very slidey as well. So I actually kind of like it now that they're dried down a bit. I don't have a problem with this because it makes it more portable. My first month of having this, I couldn't really take it with me like plein air painting because the paints themselves were too sloshy, too loose in the cups, and they firmed up a bit. So that means now it's much easier to put like at the bottom of a bag. I wouldn't want to put it on a tote bag like upside down. I think it still would fall out, but like, you know what I mean? A bottom of a wide bag that you could take with you outdoors wouldn't be a problem now as it was when I first bought it. So I actually don't think the drying down is a complete downside, but you will have to maintain it. So this is not a no maintenance like product. And in fact, this will not be enough. For some of the colors, I would have to go in there and do some more spritzes. Overall though, I love these colors. Sadly though, one downside of this, among a few, is that if you start to really go crazy on one of the colors, you will just use it all up, and then you'll have to purchase a tube, maybe even from another brand. I can't remember if HIMI Gouache sells individual tubes of their colors, but you may even have to just like refill with another type of gouache. Helen here in editing. I wanted to double check actually on this, and I'm glad I did, and I did the fact checking. You can buy the tubes. They're about the same price as this set, and the colors in the 36 set are exactly the same as in this set, if that makes sense. So if you run low, you can top up with these tubes in theory, but obviously I'm not attesting to them being the exact same quality or flowing the same way, but that's good to know. So when you run low and you want to repurchase all of them and refill, you can, but I don't think you can buy individual tubes, unfortunately. But no scent, no mold, very pleased overall with it. It was an amazing purchase for $23. Like, I'm not sure what people are expecting for that kind of money exactly, but it's got this pretty, it just makes me happy. I don't know what else to say. These colors make me happy. I love the purple. It's very portable. I don't have to worry about finding somewhere to mix up my own colors or squeeze them out of a little gouache tube. Not that that's a wrong approach, it just wasn't the approach for me going into this summer. And yeah, I painted with it for 60 days straight and I really loved it, and only took a break because I was testing some other products, and then life happens, and I've been working on photography stuff a little bit as a new hobby. But I think that's probably a pretty realistic look at how people are buying HIMI Gouache and maybe why they're not enjoying it after a while. Maybe it's not the product. Maybe it's just, you know, the novelty factor. Novelty wears off with almost anything unless you make it part of your regular practice. And I'm still more of a watercolor person than a gouache person, but I'm really glad that I purchased it overall. Now, let's talk about the accessories that come with it. It comes with this plasticky palette, I guess you would call it, and you can't see this, but little flakes are coming off of it, so it flakes off. So I don't love actually using this palette. I know that you could probably prep it by like sanding it down so the texture is a bit more rough, but like, why? What I use is just like a white plate, a thrifted plate, a dollar store plate, whatever, just one that you're not eating off of, obviously. And the way that I make sure that I never mix this with my other plates is that I pick one in a distinct shape. I don't use square plates in my household, so I know that this one is for my watercolor and my gouache. And yeah, I mean, you'll see here just vestiges of gouache that I put on here ages ago, and you can reconstitute this and pick it back up. It will work really well. I wouldn't bother with this unless you had to. It makes a flaky mess when you're done, but it doesn't flake off this surface, and you can use this again. I've got some white here and some peachy kind of a shade, and if you want a more watercolor look, this will just go forever. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm quite confident I could paint just using the remnants of this of the gouache left on this like white palette of mine. Now, of course, it may not be the opacity that you want, but like you can have fun. You can have fun with your little remnants. It's just like incredible value for what it is what I'm trying to say. So let's pick up some green and do some stems. Just like can just reconstitute it with a little bit of water once it's dried down, and it's still usable. So, okay, this is a very weird way to demo this. But as you'll see here, just those little tiny bits left on the palette are still usable and can approximate watercolor. And of course, if you want it darker, just open up your kit and start dipping in again. But anyway, to that end, I wasn't really here to make a little impromptu painting for you using my remnants left on my palette. Let's put that back over here. I wanted to talk specifically about the nice little accessories that they give you. Like, it's great value. I cannot fault it for that. Is it the quality of Winsor & Newton white gouache? No, I don't think it is, but I don't actually think it has to be. So yeah, one of these are wet, so let me just dry it off. This is just a Swedish dishcloth, and I use these for my household, and then when I'm done using them for my household, I turn them into art sponges instead of using so much paper towel. I'll put a link to these down below if that's something you're interested in. These brushes are actually great, but what I'm noticing with gouache actually is that like a round watercolor style brush is too flexible. I actually like this filbert cat tongue shape one. I think that this one is a bit stiffer in the bristles, and it helps you deal with gouache, which is a thicker medium that needs like a stiffer bristle. I didn't fully realize that if you're not thinning it out to use it like watercolor, your round brushes for watercolor are fine, like they'll work, but the best ones are the ones with less flexibility in the bristles themselves. Like this round one here is a little too soft. This filbert is a Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolor brush, and it works really good. This one does too. Just the flat brushes, what I'm trying to say, seem to work a little better than the round brushes. I don't know why it took me so long to say that, but these are great, actually. Nothing wrong with these. And I use them for my watercolor practice as well. So you're getting 3 cute little brushes that I was using daily for a few months, and they're looking pretty good right now. Quality-wise, no issue. But yeah, this palette was like unnecessary. I don't even think they should have included that. One design flaw though, what I think they could have done a bit better, is how they designed this well. Like once you get these brushes in here, if it's laying completely flat, then you're kind of like, I don't know if it's just me, but they're actually harder than you would think to get out. They just kind of roll around and are nearly impossible to pick up. So this well is actually just like a little too deep for putting these little brushes in. They probably shouldn't have bothered with this well. They could have probably saved a little bit of space, because I don't think most of us are storing our brushes in here like this because they have to dry out, or maybe that's just me. Overall though, I think that this was, for me, an amazing purchase. Will it still be good in a year? It will completely dry out by then if I don't tend to it. I know that much. So it does require maintenance. But it's one of those things where if you want to just experiment as to whether you like gouache or not, like why not? I think people are maybe being a little too hard on it, all things considered. And again, yeah, I really appreciate that it's unscented. So that's good. My understanding, the purpose of this is for people taking art class, especially in China, where they're learning painterly, almost like oil painting techniques. But if you're like in an exam situation, it will never dry in time. You can't do it. And we're talking about tons and tons of people needing to paint from like a uniform color set, perhaps doing certain techniques. It makes perfect sense in that case why you might want to use gouache, because it will be dry by the end of the exam, or nearly by the end of the exam, I would imagine. I mean, that's my understanding of how this works. If you have a different understanding, by all means, please do drop it down below. So I want to know your thoughts. Have you tried HIMI Gouache? What have been your experiences with it? When I first released my initial video, people's reactions were kind of all over the place. Some people really liked it and some people said it was terrible. Some people also had the idea of just slitting open the metal on the top instead of opening every single one and dipping your brush in, and that might have been a smart way to preserve it for longer, but I ultimately didn't go that route. I just enjoy looking at these. They look like candy. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.